What's happening, guys? Welcome to the Russell Hantz Show. I am your host, Russell Hantz. This is the new co host for the Russell Hantz Show, Keaton. You seen him last week. He was amazing. I got all kind of great comments. Did you read some of the comments, Keaton,
Yeah, I
about
did.
how you did?
Yeah.
People
So
liked you,
first
man.
off, yeah, before we get going into the episode, I gotta throw a thanks out to everybody who watched and commented. Really appreciate it, and definitely happy to be here moving forward, man.
Yeah. So, dude, I'm not gonna lie. When the episode started, I was like, "Where are we going?" Because we went to some weird montage, just like that, which that didn't make any sense to me at all.
Hmm.
High saying how he's suffered worse in his life in that dripping camp that he sits there in. That that they're freezing cold, but he's been more miserable in his life than where he is right now. I've known this. I've felt this before. I mean, did he sleep outside? Has he been homeless? I don't think that's the case. I just don't like that. And then they go and they montage him as a child. I don't know if you like that, but I hate that. We're in it. It's okay. First two episodes, whatever. Do what you want. And I even said, hey, I get it. Jeff, you want to induce people like Big Brother? That's fine. Do that, but we need to end that. And then all of a sudden, at the end of a season, we get a
Hmm.
montage.
Yeah, and to me, you know, that in the beginning, and then as the episode kind of progressed, and more
It
people
did
were
progress
talking
to
about
right.
getting rid of High, I was like, a lot of people are really talking about getting rid of High. He had a montage in the beginning. This doesn't look good, for
Oh, so
High.
you thought as a viewer, he's gone.
As a viewer, yeah, as a viewer, when they did that, I was kind of like, this could go one of two ways. Either it's really going to start to have High break out to be kind of like a front runner to maybe win the game. But once specifically Omar and Mike, which we can talk about in a bit. But once they started
Mhm.
talking about High being targeted, I was like, okay. I was like, so this is High's boot episode potentially.
Oh,
What we're
so
about to
that's
get
what you've
here.
seen. See,
That's
I don't even look at it like you look at it like in a different light than me. I should look at it like that, but I look at it more like a gamer that plays the game. I
mm-hmm.
don't look at it like, okay, who are they focusing on getting rid of today? I just want to see it play out. But that's very interesting that super fans, would you call yourself a super fan
Oh
of the
yeah,
show?
yeah.
So you could, do you think that you can do that? This is off the subject, but do you think season after season you would be like, this person looks like it's over, boot episode?
Yeah, like so not as much this season. More people have gotten those montages throughout this season than in 41 because last season's when they first started to do that, right? So last season, I don't feel like not as many people got them, but it seemed to be that people would get them more when they were wanting to have like a centric, if you will, like episode, more highlighting that person and kind of like making you connect with them, like why you should care about them. And in 41, I believe it happened pretty frequently where like that person actually went home either that episode or soon after. Now with High, I think he's had like maybe one of these already, and this might have been his second one. I'm not sure about that, but yeah, like for me
No,
watching
it
it,
was.
yeah,
No, they
like
do
so,
it over. It was High's third. No, it was. I guarantee it was High's third because I think they did two at the beginning with High. Now we got another one montage.
yeah, and he, like for me, I'm just kind of like, okay, like to me, that signifies like one of two things. Either one, they're trying to build you up as, an end gamer, someone who's going to be sitting there in the final three, and kind of give you more of a character development with them because, we talked like very briefly before we went live about how I personally, and I think you might feel the same way, with the game being cut down from 39 days to 26 days, it's so sped up that I feel like we're losing a lot of the social aspect of the game, which for so long was so important. Like
Right.
like instead of actually getting real depth and real character, building throughout the whole season, I think they're having to plug in these montages because we lost 13 days worth of character development on these seasons. So I feel like when, they're kind of like, well, we got to really make the audience, feel one way or the other about people, they throw a montage at us. But
Man, but it just doesn't work with Survivor. The
yeah.
montages, the slow days, all we get now we have Omar being super aggressive, saying, just being sarcastic, uh, if you may, with voting out, or talking about Mike, saying, just being super stuff I would do as an
Mhm.
aggressive player. But we got to see a little bit of him, thought he was somewhat submissive. All of a sudden, bam, he's some kind of big time villain. And I think that has a lot to do with the shortened season. Even when you see me, I'm the most aggressive person to ever play the game. When you've seen it progress with me
Mhm.
from day one, you've seen it happen. You didn't
Yeah.
see bam from 0 to 1,000 just like that. And I think we're seeing that because of just that, because
Mhm.
it's just a short season and they're trying to put everything in a ball, just just like that, and it just doesn't work like that. Not with Survivor.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. And like, I was talking to a friend of mine about this, and I said, the 26 days to me takes away from the show. And he was like, really? He's like, all the changes they've made, that's something that you feel takes away from it? And I'm like, yeah, because, you can we've seen, crappy twists going all the way back to, to the Outcast. We've seen the Edge of Extinction, Redemption Island. We don't talk about that though, right?
Right.
But like we've seen some shitty twists and stuff that they've tried over the course of the show. But like the thing is that like Survivor, what's always made it so good, and in my opinion, last as long as it has, is that the people that play the game. And when you condense the season from 39 days to 26, but you're putting almost the same amount of people out there, you're taking away from like that character growth. You're taking away from, if I played the game personally, I would feel like I wouldn't be able to play and maneuver how I would want, to my strengths, which would be a social game, which would allow me to play a strategic game. So now I feel like people are kind of like, let's not worry about the social game and that nearly as much. Let's just do strategic and let's just go hard. And I kind of feel like that is kind of what High
Not
did.
only that, it also the advantages.
Yeah.
Everything we now we have shorter time, more advantages,
Hmm.
and it's just not enough time for production to do what they need to do. Yes, it's the same amount. It is the same amount of time viewing wise, but
Right.
that's a big difference when it comes to production actually putting it together.
Yeah.
You know, it makes a big difference on how we view it, on how good the episodes are. And I
Yeah.
think this fast pace does not work for Survivor. I hope they change it. It doesn't work.
Yeah. I hope they do too, man, because like to put this kind of like in perspective for people, from the day that they merged from Chanel, Roxroy, and Tori, three people went home in a 24-hour window.
Mm.
That's a lot. That in a 24 hours Survivor, and this was the same as last season too, but in 24 hours, three people got voted off.
I'll put
That
that right there. That comment. We'll just leave that there until the show's over.
yeah. Well,
No, well, anyway, they have a very good production. Australian, they do their job when it comes to production. Other than that,
hmm
so now what's very interesting, I'm gonna take that off. I lied. What's very interesting is Drea.
yeah.
So there's twice we seen Drea this episode. The first time we seen her, she said it was a very emotional, but I'm still in Survivor. You right,
hmm
still in Survivor. Second time, um, she says all of a sudden, she says, I put all of a sudden. I put that in. That she is playing with too much heart, and she wants a person of color high gone. All of a sudden, Drea is playing with too much heart. So, as big as that last episode shook up the world, literally, as big as that was, now, not so much. We barely seen her this episode. And then she votes off high.
All
And she
right.
says, maybe I'm playing with too much heart. Maybe that was too much. Need to get back into the game. Now let's play. So what was that? What was all that? Nobody's going to talk about that, though. Nobody is going to talk about what I just said. In the whole world of YouTubers that talk Survivor talk.
Yeah. And that's because the thing is, like, when it comes to that kind of stuff, man, and especially because people, I feel like in certain worlds of, Survivor and reality TV and all that, they don't want to say the wrong thing. They feel like they have to be always politically correct. They feel like they always have to make sure that they don't burn an invitation back to something in the future. So, like, but the thing is that, like, last week, what was it really as much about everything that it was, or was it more about a moment produced for TV?
Man, I don't know. That's a very hard question. Very good question. Very hard question. What was that moment really about? Who's ever going to know? Who knows?
Yeah, and when I say a moment for TV, I don't mean Drea was sitting there thinking, "Man, this is TV gold." I'm saying somebody else from a different perspective was sitting at tribal council, sitting there thinking, "Man, this is TV gold." And I feel like you probably know who I'm talking about. But the thing is, I'm just kind of like, was it pushed so much because of, man, this is a moment? You know what I mean? Kind of, or
But
was it for the players? I think it was genuine.
I don't want to beat a dead horse. And I guess we're only because of they're making us talk about it. We have to beat that horse till he's bloody and
Yeah.
pulp and then we eat it.
Yeah.
But then, but I get what you're saying, but I seriously think, and they have a YouTuber that did a video. I'm going to do commentary on it. Brilliant guy.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see it. Watch the video. He puts things in perspective. Very classy, and it makes you think. Now, what is really happening? Was it? I think that no matter what people think, I think that was real what happened last week in Drea's head. I think that was a real moment. I do.
Yeah, I agree.
But you're right. What did production take that? It is the reason we didn't see much of Drea this time. Are they scared that just happened? Did they say, "Oh, let's calm it down a little bit. Let's act like that never happened, and now Drea can vote out a person of color." But we'll act like that never happened. But that was a good moment for TV.
And that was my point. Like, I don't want to try and say like that Drea or Marianne, that they were thinking it was a TV moment. I think for them it was 100% real, 100% raw emotion from them, and them playing the game in the moment. The TV moment, I think, was a production thing. I don't really
But
like
they
to
couldn't
fly.
have fixed it though. They couldn't have fixed that. Me and Boo were talking about it, and we said it in the thing. The only way they can fix these type of moments is through casting. Other than that, that moment had to be played out like we seen it played out.
Oh yeah.
Production couldn't have but they were sitting back there saying, "This is gold." Do you really think that they think that was gold, or do you think they think, "Man, this might be a little sketchy here with the viewers. Like, what's really going on? Is she doing it? Is she playing the black card? Because that's one thing that we're hearing. Is that what she's doing? Is it a real, honest, emotional experience? Is that what it is?" Now all of a sudden we see her go back to camp, and she says, "Time to get back to the game." Yes, that was emotional, but this is Survivor. It's time for me to play. Now we see her reversing and starting to be like, that moment never happened. So I'm going to vote out a person of color tonight. And it's going to be like, I'm playing Survivor. I'm playing. Is that what she was doing? Playing Survivor when she did that whole was that not an emotional moment? Was it a gameplay?
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, I mean, I think like in her mind and her heart, what she thought was going on, like it was genuine for her.
I think so too. I do think that.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think it can be any of. But the thing is that that game, you know, I've never personally played, obviously, but I think that it brings out moments in you where like you just are you're strategically like you don't think, you know, you're just letting 100% of like your inner self like really bleed through and really show. And I think that's kind of what we got. And I think after that tribal council, I think she walked out and left and was like, okay, like I can't play the game like that moving forward and expect to win. So she had to get a grip on herself and pull herself back into the game because kind of like what Tori said, you know, she said, I don't even think we can pull ourselves back to gameplay. This is too much real world right now. And I think after tribal council, after the dust settled, I think Drea was like, okay, Tori made a good point. We went beyond the game, outside of the game. I need
Right.
to get level headed. I need to get back into the mindset of the game. And when she did that, I think she was able to collect herself a little bit and be like, okay, moving forward, like I need to be 100% about the game, cold hearted, and just, you know, bulldoze through these people with
Right.
my all my advantages.
But it's
So,
not, it doesn't look good though. That whole theatric thing that we just seen, now it makes it look different.
yeah.
Because when you put it in perspective now, like the next day, you're voting out high, a person of
Hmm.
color, and you're saying, forget about that. That was emotions. It's time to play the game.
Yeah.
It just doesn't look that good. So it's very interesting. I'm just going to say this real quick. Uh, I have to approve some things. I have my phone here. When somebody says something like a cuss word or whatever, I have to press approve for it to show on the screen here. And then someone said, white man will never, a guy named Matt said, white man will never win this game again. They didn't, the algorithm didn't approve that. He didn't say a cuss word, didn't say nothing. What's wrong with that? I just had to approve it myself.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's weird that just happened, but we'll get back to the show.
Yeah.
So So I appreciate Joe. What is that? Joe Foe in the ring becoming a member. Appreciate that. Usually I go an hour or so after me and Keaton, but we're here to talk Survivor. And let's talk about Lindsay winning the immunity, and she does not bring Jonathan. We see that Jonathan is kind of, those two are kind of pushing themselves away from each other. I think that it's happening more than we actually see.
Yeah, I
But
agree.
the reason Lindsay is where she is because of Jonathan. So what happened? How come she didn't invite Jonathan, the one that brought her where she is right now, to the feast?
Yeah. I mean, I think like for that, I think for her standing there, you know, in her mind, she was able to come up and say, hey, I want to make this about people who have not gotten a reward, who have not had that. That's a good scapegoat, a good thing to fall back on. But in her mind, you have to be thinking realistically, the reason why she didn't want to take Jonathan would be I do want him to go. We're at the final eight. Any food for him is going to be fuel for him to where he might be able to win to where I can't take him out. Now, like to your point, like Jonathan is a key reason why that Orange tribe as a whole even made it to the merge. Now, looking at their, you know, they're in the post merge. Before the merge, they didn't have to vote many people off, you know, because the medevac they didn't have anything to do with that, and then they only went to tribal one time before the merge, right?
Right.
So they didn't have to really strategize and do all the politics and the backstabbing that some of these other teams had to do before the merge. So now that they're actually there and that the opportunities are there to take Jonathan out of the game, I mean, I can't think of anybody across any season that would realistically want to get to the end of the game with Jonathan. I mean, but that's just my opinion. I mean, I don't think
Well,
he's.
he can be beat though. He's not. He's not. We see. Yes, he's good in balance challenges. Every single challenge so far has been somewhat of a balance type
Mhm.
endurance challenge. Every single one so far.
Yeah.
And uh,
Well,
what's your name?
I have an
Well,
opinion on that, man. Like, I don't know that he is necessarily as good as these challenges as we think, as much as everyone else is just bad at them. Because,
right.
you've seen a lot of people talk about how this is like one of the most physically like intimidating, like they're just the physicality of this cast is not there. Like there's not a lot of, physically um, stacked people. There's not a lot of athletic people. And the thing is, looking back across, the history of Survivor, people like Jonathan with his build and stuff like that, they don't typically do great in challenges. And yeah, he was, Hercules before the merge, helping, like carry his team. But those challenges are a lot more, much more about strength. They're a lot more about working together. And when you can kind of piggyback off of one guy, that helps you. But now that they've merged, he's not been too impressive in these challenges. And, in fact, it's not the kind of people like Jonathan that are typically good. Normally, the people who are good in these challenges are like your Ozzy or your Tyson, people like that, because these challenges are a lot much more about like random skill, and they're a lot of like carnival type games. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like
Yes.
Jonathan's skill set doesn't really mean that he's going. Everyone's so worried he's going to go on a big run and win all these challenges,
Yeah.
but
It doesn't. Yeah. Right. No,
I
I
mean,
don't. That's what I'm saying. We're seeing him his kryptonite, which is
yeah,
yes, he's coming in second, but he's not winning.
yeah, he's not
So
winning.
so it's like Tori won. Now Lindsay won. So
Yeah,
it's like he won one out of that, but he can be beat. It's not like,
yeah,
oh my God, we can't beat this guy. It's just not going to happen,
yeah. He can.
especially with these challenges.
Yeah, he can be beat, and it helps to again, in his case, it does help when the cast is not as nearly on your level of athleticism. And when the challenges start, I mean, you set a timer within like 30 seconds, over half of them are out of the challenges anyway.
Right.
And that doesn't speak to Jonathan's strength. That speaks to everyone else's weakness. You know what I mean? So I said it
Right.
last week. I think Jonathan is one of the most lucky players to come into a season of Survivor, because most seasons the guy wouldn't have made it nearly as far as he has. But with that said, I do love some Jonathan. So I'm not bashing him. I'm just saying in most seasons, the guy would not be, as put on the same pedestal that he's been put on this season.
Right. I mean, it's he's good. He's super good in physical game challenges to bring, to when you need a team player, he's the one you
Yeah.
pick.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
now it's different.
yeah, I mean, and you know how much I love James, right? James, amazing in team challenges, never won one individual immunity. And you know what I
Right.
mean? And he
Right.
played 3 times, and he was the guy that everybody wanted on their team, right? You saw
Right.
like back in the day when they would do, now it's all random, but back in the day, the old school days, people would like, they would draft their teams. Like, I want this guy, I want that guy. Everybody, James, I want James, give me James.
Right. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
as a team player in the team challenges, he was phenomenal.
That'd
And
be very interesting. Let's say you're picking, and
mm-hmm,
you got everybody in their prom. You have James, you have Ozzy, you have Joe, you have Malcolm, you have Jonathan, and you're the first pick in the
mm-hmm.
beginning of the game. Who do you pick?
It's probably, I mean, the
I mean,
bias
seriously, it's biasly, you
the
probably gonna
bi
pick James,
the
but
biasly, I mean, even non-bias, I mean, like, you really, I mean, like, yeah, Jonathan's been highlighted and stuff like that, but man, like, you go back and watch the first couple of times James played, he did everything for his tribe, like as far as like day-to-day camp life and
right,
challenges, nobody could touch him. Now when they got to the merge, it was different, but like, I mean, It would be tough, man. I mean, there's been some incredible players, but again, like everyone you just named, you know, Jonathan is one. Between Jonathan and James, there's one individual immunity between the two of them, and then you got guys like Ozzy or Tyson, Malcolm,
Man.
stuff like that, and they clean it up. You know,
Yeah, I
it's
want to
just
see Jonathan and James sitting on that pedestal with the. I want to see. That's what I
right,
want to see. I want to
right.
see those two physically go at it.
Hmm. Yeah,
That'd be.
I mean, because those are the two most physically well. I mean, you know, talking about a physical specimen, those are the two biggest guys to ever play the game. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
So we have all of a sudden, man. Not all of a sudden. He is a gamer. He's playing this game. He's playing it hard. Do you think that Omar is just playing to the camera? Because you don't have to say that. You don't have to
Mm-hmm.
say what you just said. But
Mm-hmm.
when by saying that, if Mike goes back to high and tells him you said that, it blows up your game. Like he didn't only say, "Hey, he's coming at you," which he was. He could have easily just said the truth. He
Mm-hmm.
goes and he says a lie, and he says, "Hey," he says that you're his puppet. Like
Yeah.
that word I think comes from me.
Yeah, man. So there, it's actually interesting. So you know, I always look at the profiles and stuff on the people before they play the game, kind of get an idea of who we're getting. And Omar, I don't know if he said his favorite or who he wanted to play like or what it was, but he said that the person was Sesternino, right? So Sesternino, to the people around him, he was likable. He was goofy. The people liked him. To the camera, though, he played it up a little bit and had like this, behind the camera like character. And when I seen that Omar said that he wanted to play or his favorite player was, Rob Sesternino, I kind of thought to myself, a lot of people have said that over the years. I'm kind of like, I wonder if he's going to try and play like them. Because you always wonder when people say, oh, I want to be the next Russell or the next Parvati. Are they going to try and implement stuff from their game into that, to how they play? And so Omar, to me, he's like you said, he went from being strategic to now he's almost being like villain strategic in how he's talking to the camera and playing it up for the camera. Even with
Yeah.
there towards the end, where he had because he's been running it, man. Like I talked about it last week with you. In my opinion, he's playing the best game. And last week he was the one that flipped it from Romeo to Rocks going home. This week he's the one that really got the ball rolling for High to go home. And you've seen him kind of playing with the idea. Maybe I don't want High to go. Maybe I want to keep High and use High and vote off Jonathan instead. He was contemplating voting off his number one ally. You know what I mean? So he's getting. What I'm worried about is that people in this game are playing so aggressive and so fast that, much like High, I feel like a lot of them are going to end up playing themselves out of the game. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Going
Right.
going too strategic, going too hard, too fast, because they're
You
like,
think
oh
Omar could do that? Play himself out of game because
man,
nobody knows that what he's doing though.
yeah,
Nobody sees him playing at this point. Nobody's seeing him play that strategic
yeah.
because he's playing.
I have to say right now, Omar is personally my favorite to win the game.
Yeah.
If he doesn't win the game, it's going to be because he went too aggressive, too fast, and got a
So
target on his back.
those moments, this is what I'm talking about, guys. When y'all talk about Russell Hantz plays this game too aggressive, that's why my social game, blah blah blah. When Omar does those moments and lies about something he doesn't have to lie about. When
Mm-hmm.
I lied about stuff that I didn't have to lie about, I went too far to show the camera, you guys, that I'm a badass. And I think that's what we just seen with him. That's the part to where the social aspect of the game can kick you in the ass.
Yeah. And you made me think of a really good point, kind of like going off of what you just said. playing strategically and being aggressive and doing things that aren't necessary. The thing is that I think a lot of people, and maybe you can attest to this a little bit, is that you play the game so hard in the game, but what you don't realize when you're being that aggressive and the people you're sending out, they're all going to the same spot. And
Yeah.
say hypothetically Mike is the next person to go home, right? Well, Mike right now is thinking, we just got rid of Omar. Hi, I'm sorry. I wanted him out. He said these things about me, whatever. Omar's my guy. I'm going to go the in with Omar. Well, if Mike, for whatever reason, goes home and Omar is sitting on at the end, Mike is on the jury, at that point, the conversation's back at Ponderosa. Mike is going to figure out, hey, Hyde didn't say this, and we're out of the game.
Uh-huh.
The game's
Yeah,
over.
right. Mike goes there and says, "No, he told me you said." He'd be like, "I never said that."
Yeah,
Bam.
and at that point, Hyde and they have no reason to lie. The game's over for them. But they find out all this stuff about the guy still in the game, the guy getting potentially to the end of the game, said all this stuff that wasn't even necessary. Mike wanted Hyde to go already. You know what I mean? So it's kind of
Yeah.
like, why are you doing these things that aren't necessary? But
Did
you
you
know,
think that when he did that? Because immediately I was like, he didn't have to do that. Yes, it's amazing, crazy. It could be a good move, but it could be a tragic move. And it takes this much for it to be a tragic move because, like you said, at Ponderosa, if Mike gets voted off, he's like, well, he told me you said you're his puppet. Wait, what? I didn't say that. Then
yeah,
all of a sudden, they don't get the vote because he lied to get his way to the end of the game.
yeah. I mean, I know like when I was watching it, I was sitting there, I was thinking to myself, man, that's a move I would make. You know what I mean? But the
I
thing,
would too, but then it's a move I would have made. If I
mm-hmm,
played again, I wouldn't make that move
yeah,
because he didn't have to make that move. He could have told him the truth because High was controlling him. He could have said, "Man, High is the one controlling you. High is the one that wanted Mike out. So are you going to allow that to happen and you want to play together instead of completely lying for no reason at all, even though as we sit here and talk, it's an amazing move as we talk, but as the game goes along, it could be a bad move.
yeah. And that's the thing, man. Like I sit here and I'm like, I would have made that move. You're sitting here saying I would have in the past made that move.
Right.
Me never playing the game, I'm sitting here thinking, man, that's good. Like I would have done.
But
Hopefully,
you see my point of view.
oh
Like I
yeah,
would have, but I
yeah,
won't now.
yeah,
You're saying you will now, but you just said a perfect. If you could sit back, let's say you play the game, if you can actually sit back and think like you just thought and think deeper, think Ponderosa. If you
mm-hmm,
before you make that move, before you say, "Hey, he said you're his puppet," when he didn't, if you think, "Wait, if I say that, they go back to Ponderosa, he gets voted off, he gets voted, they talk about it." No, I can't say that. Like if it's
yeah,
that, and you just said that, you just
oh
made
yeah,
that assumption without playing the game, which is
oh
pretty
yeah,
impressive.
yeah. I mean, it's a risk, man. I mean, because if you do that, what you do is you it's a risk either way. And being Omar and not seeing everything that we get to see as a viewer, so only having his perception actually in real life time on the island, you have to think to yourself, like, okay, do I swing for the fences? And because that will get Mike on your side 100%, right? And get him to target Omar. So you're like, do I roll the dice? Do I make this lie and I guarantee I get Mike on my side? Or do I play it cool, make sure I'm managing potential jury members a little more delicately? And do I risk going back to the beach and Mike, going right back under high? So it's kind of like, what are you more comfortable gambling with? Potential jury management, or do you worry more about not having a number in the game? You know what I mean?
Right.
Because it's kind of
Yeah.
like, if he doesn't make that move, if he doesn't make that lie, and Hyde doesn't go home, and then he ends up going out, he could sit there and think, man, if I did that, if I got Mike to switch right there that night, maybe, it's, I guess in my view, it's kind of like, it is risky, but man, kind of like how I used to play the game. It's better to go all out while you're in the game because you're still in the game and not have to worry about what if I did that. But
Yeah, because you don't trust me, man. You don't think about what ifs. You run with
mm-hmm,
it. And then if you could stop and think, that's how you should play the game. You should
right.
stop and think before you say something aggressive because you know you're going to say it. It's planned.
Mm-hmm.
So then you need to, and I think a lot of people think, well, he's going to respect that I played the game so hard, I lied to them. But that to me, that move that Omar made could lose him 2 votes at
Yeah.
jury.
Oh yeah, it absolutely could. And I think that playing that aggressive game and making the telling things or doing things that you don't necessarily have to do, you can try and calculate them all you want, but the thing about Survivor is, man, like you never know because every person, they're a unique individual. High would probably be like, you know what? Hats off to you. You made a game move. Mike would probably feel burned by it. You know what I mean? So it's kind of
Yeah.
like you just
Yeah.
it's really hard, man,
It's
to
a
navigate. Hard.
hard. That's what makes Survivor so hard. Like, yeah, like we got a
Yep.
comment before I go to this comment. Carol, they got the green because they're members of the channel. I know that's been up there for a while, but we need some female members. So let's go. It's $1.99 at the lowest. You could be a member of the channel. We talk about that after this is over. I go by myself. We talk about that. And then we have lying in Survivor is outplaying. You see, man, that's the hard part right there. Is it really outplaying? Because he didn't have to lie to him. He could have told him the truth and got the same results. But now I think he'll lose a vote. If
Mm-hmm.
if Mike gets to the Ponderosa with, and we've seen a little bit of that. I don't know what happens, but we've seen a little bit of them talking about getting rid of Mike. If he gets to the Ponderosa with high, he loses 2 votes because of what he just did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you
So
can definitely see how it could go that way.
it could, or you could be like, I respect it. Yeah, he outplayed me. Outplayed me. Mike, I think Mike would be more to say, "Oh, that was great. You got me, man." Like James would do that.
Mm-hmm.
James would be like, "Oh, you got me, man. You got me. That's it. You got me. What else am I supposed to do? Here's you win. Here's $1 million."
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
I think High's not, I don't feel that High's that forgiving for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, High, like he played it off, like he wanted, like he was okay with the blind side. He was happy with the way he went out of the game. But I mean, the thing is, like in that moment like that, like you realize you just got duped, especially when you feel like you're in the driver's seat. You feel like you're, the smartest guy in the room, and you just got
Right.
voted off. And it's kind of like, man, I can't keep up this, persona that I'm the best player out here because I just got the boot. So like instead of looking like a jackass, I got to compliment these people. I got to be like, man, hats off to you, great move, you got me because going into that, clearly by his reaction, he had no idea he was going. And I love tonight's tribal personally because it has been a minute since like you've really seen a genuine blindside like that. And to me, it took us back to real Survivor, got away from the episode we got last week and got back to what Survivor
They
is
got away
really
from it,
about.
man. And
Yeah. And
I think that was all. I think that was planned. That was production. They showed you because this wasn't like 41 was a disaster, but
mhm.
this is more of them trying to play the game. They are trying to play the game.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, this happens at Tribal. And on a lot of my stuff, I said, you can't blame production for that. You have to blame casting for that, what happened.
Mhm.
And then you go from there. Like me and Boo were talking privately. This ain't private, but I'll say it anyway. And we were saying, how are they going to do cat? How do you fix that? You get a person of color who says, I don't give a fuck. If there's 5 black people in a row, I'm voting them off. If they're not with me, I'm voting them off. That's how
Mhm.
you fix that. Casting. That's how you
Yeah.
fix that, Jeff, if you're watching. So
Yeah.
now we have Mike, man. Mike is the new version of the Survivor players that we're going to see from now on. He sucks at strategic play. He sucks in challenges, but he's likable. You like him,
Yep.
and everybody else likes him. He
Yep.
is what Survivor is becoming,
Yep.
Mike.
If you watch Survivor, and and it's a bummer in some aspects. I mean, like I watch Survivor now, and I'm like, man, I'm like most of these people on here are here because they have a interesting because someone in casting, someone along the way found their story to be moving, things that they've been through in their day-to-day life back home up to them playing Survivor. They have a good story, they have an interesting whatever, and it fits right in with their montages, it fits right in with them wanting to. Now the game is so much more about uh, growth and people, and it's so much less about strategy and about the game. We saw it really heavy last season. This season, I feel like the people out there really are fans and really do want to play the game, and they want to have that strategic element to their season. But man, the people that they're casting, it's you look at the group, take diversity out of the window. Say every person out there playing is fucking like orange or something, right? There's no blacks, there's no whites, there's no anything like that. Everyone out there is orange,
Orange.
and they
That's a
just
good.
they right, dude, and
Yeah, hell yeah.
they cast these people based off of interesting backgrounds
Right.
and stories that they can tell in their
You know, it'd be
montages.
cool if you cast from a booth with a voice changer. You casting from a booth. You don't even see the person because that's right. Let's cast everybody's orange. Let's cast
Hmm.
now. Then you're going to
Right.
get some interesting, very interesting stuff. But when
Yeah.
you're looking through a prism, when you're looking at a color and you're checking a box, that's not how Survivor was meant to be
Yeah.
playing. It's not even how you're supposed to cast.
Yeah. I feel like I feel like a lot of it now is box checking. I feel a lot of it's, do we have, how many interesting stories do we have? I think from the casting standpoint, one reason why 41 was so weak for a lot of people, and what they really risked with 42, because they even implemented some of it to 42, is just that they're casting people less about, okay, how are you going to transition to a survivor player or a survivor character. In my mind, back in the day, they cast people for two reasons. One, you're going to be a damn good survivor player, or two, you're going to be a damn good survivor character. Was Coach cast because they thought he was going to be good at the game? Hell no. They
No,
cast Coach because they knew he was going to be an incredible survivor character. Did they cast,
they didn't cast me because they thought I was going to be Ozzy. They cast me
no.
because of strictly I cast like that. My short, bald, stocky. I just made that up. That is now a thing in the world
Hmm.
of casting all around the world.
Hmm.
I,
Yeah.
us short, bald guys had no hope until I came. But the reason they put me on there was because they wanted some fireworks.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And now I feel like they go through the casting department and they're like, okay, episodes 1 through 7, we got to have a good moment where somebody talks about an experience they went through in their life or something life defining, some life changing moment. We got to have that TV moment. They're not looking for people who are going to be good survivor players or going to be breakout characters that can really be the face of a season, like a fair play, like a yourself or a coach or people like that. Now they're like, okay, who's going to give us a good 5-minute moment in an episode about you know some crazy life experience they've already went through. And I feel like for them it's a lot more about that than it is the actual game. And to me, that's a bummer. But luckily, the people they got this season, I think, also came to play, and I think they got lucky. I think they got lucky with this season, because if you look at how much it mirrors 41, and 41 was a train wreck,
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? 41
No,
was a train
do
wreck.
you think, I think I asked you this before, but I'm not sure, but do you think they went back to the drawing board? Do you think they went back and re-edited some things?
I don't. I mean, honestly, like how much? Like next week. So the preview for next week, I think is going to be. It's where like they open the three things that like somebody like you can play the immunity challenge, but like if you lose it or something, you have to do like the where you open the three, and one of them has a like or one of them has a torch, and like the other two are like a skull or something. And if you
Right.
get the skull, you're out of the game. Like I'm pretty sure that's what's coming next week. I can't remember at what point that happened in 41, but I think that is what we're getting next
Well,
week.
we'll see. I mean, it's not a bad season. I wouldn't
No.
put it in my top 15, but it's in
Hmm.
my top 20. So
Yeah.
it's a solid season. Uh, what happened last? I think that's going to be like a moment that's forgotten. And I think that we have a comment right here that says that they're filming 43 right now in Fiji. Do you
Yep.
know that to be the case? Is that a true statement?
Yeah. I don't know that they're filming, but they have flown out, and the cast is in Fiji. Rather, if they're having to do any type of quarantining or whatever, but the cast is in Fiji right now.
Right. And guys, if you want to check these guys right here, my people right here with the green, you have to become a member of the channel. Carol, you're new. I've seen you for the first time. The question I just put up, or looks like somebody that knows. We don't like spoilers on this channel, but who is that? I just put that up. Somebody said that they're in 42, but that's interesting. Cole, not a member, become a member of the channel. And then, because after this, we talk more by myself. So, what do you think about High saying that now that's more of a good move. High saying that he has an idol, even though it wasn't believable. I think that he thought he was in trouble. I think a lot more happened than we really know.
Hmm.
And do you think that was a desperation play, saying I have an idol?
Uh, I think it was kind of for him. It was he was trying to get like a double play out of it, in my opinion. I think that him saying he has the idol was a way to kind of like, if there was potential talk about people coming after him, people potentially voting for him, that him telling Jonathan, hey, he didn't tell the whole tribe, he didn't tell a lot of people, he told Jonathan, at least from what we've seen, and he said, I have an idol, I'm going to play it tonight on you. Well, here's the thing about that is that if Jonathan bought that,
Yeah.
Jonathan then in his mind is thinking, okay, is he really going to play the idol on me, or does he? But in Jonathan's mind, if he believed it, if he really sold it to him, you never know if someone's going to play an idol on you or not, right? But in his mind, he would be like, oh, High has an idol. Let's not vote for High tonight. But High also was trying to make Jonathan feel comfortable enough to where he didn't play his shot in the dark. So
Right.
ideally, that move, if Jonathan believed it, and if the other people there, believed it through Jonathan, potentially could have done two things. One, it could have, if the vote went Jonathan, would have kept him comfortable enough from not playing his shot in the dark. Jonathan theoretically would have went home. The people left in the game then would have been under the impression that High has an idol. So you're not immediately going to want to try and go voting for High. And High could have, kind of like used that as a little bit of leverage. In a way, I almost kind of feel like it was kind of like what Rupert tried to pull back when you played with him with the rock in the pocket.
It worked. No,
Yeah,
the rock in the pocket worked. But
yeah.
you know why it worked? Because he didn't say nothing. Because I was good enough to watch, and he knew I
Mm-hmm.
was good enough to look at everything.
Mm-hmm.
And him just putting it in his pocket without even saying, almost like the Tyson vote. I didn't have to tell Tyson. I knew Tyson was smart enough to try to maybe figure something else out if I just approached him without saying, "Hey, let's vote out I didn't say let's vote out I said let's vote out Porvy, but it made him change his mind like I was really doing it, so it switched his vote without me saying, hey, switch your vote. Same
Right.
thing with the rock in the pocket. I thought he had, at that point in time, I thought he possibly have an idol. Now, if he
Right.
would have came to me and said, I have an idol, I would have said, show me. And
Mm-hmm.
that might have happened. They might have
Mm-hmm.
cut that part out.
Yeah, they very well might have, but if we're going off of just what we've seen, if High got the vote to break his way, to me, I feel like that's a good move because you get Jonathan out, you're at the final seven, and if you can get kind of like the Rupert effect to where they just don't vote for you the next tribal, he goes from 7 to 6. Anything in this faster paced game you can do
Yes.
to get yourself just literally one more day. Sometimes, as I told you earlier, one more day can be the difference in one person going home or freaking three. You know what I mean? So, like in this newer game, anything you can do to extend your game just by one day, I think you have to go for it. And for High, I don't think it was a bad move at all. I just think at that point, the numbers had already been put together to where enough people wanted him to go and felt good about him going home.
Yeah. And at the end of at tribal council, the way they were talking, I thought Jonathan was in trouble. I thought he
Mm-hmm.
had to use his shot in the dark for sure.
Yeah.
So, and again, they got to play up for the viewers. Jonathan obviously felt pretty comfortable by not using the shot in the dark. But if he would have, and Jonathan wins the first person that wins the shot in the dark, everybody's going to say, that's fixed. They
Yeah.
wanted him to stay.
Yeah, there would have been there would have been some speculation, but I want to ask you this: how much do you think? Because we've seen when Jonathan said to Omar, High said he had an idol, they kind of laughed it off, whatever, like they didn't believe him. But them going at tribal council because what Lindsay said about big threats and want a level playing field. Jonathan kind of being like, oh, you know what that is? My ears are burning. They must be talking about me, type deal. How much of that do you think was maybe them also playing that angle, as in like, okay, let's say some stuff, make it feel like Jonathan's a threat, whatever, when in reality they were just trying to make
Right?
sure if High has an idol, let's make it seem like the vote is going Jonathan, just in case High has something, he doesn't play it. So I feel like in this game with how many advantages are floating around, I think taking that precaution would be necessary.
Right.
But
So you think it's okay that he was like not playing? Like, just, I would have played the shot in the dark. I'd have been too nervous.
yeah, I don't think I would have played it, man. Honestly, I don't. Just because, like, I don't know. Just
I
like my
mean, it's
gut.
only what, five? Is it just like an idol? You can only play shot in the dark after five people are left?
Hopefully, somebody in the comments knows because I
Yeah,
don't
because
know. I
I'm
don't
sure it's
know.
just saying you can't use any advantages after five people.
Yeah, and I feel like that probably is the case. Or in the case of the damn the shot in the dark because it was originally a 1 in 6 shot, right? And then they got to the merge and they made it, I think, like a one
Oh,
in 12.
is it a 1 in 12 now?
Or maybe it was a 2 and 12 once they got to the merge. I'm curious
Shot in the
if like
dark
I'm
uh, after six. Because it's 1 in 6. It can't go any further than that.
right. Yeah, exactly. So the final 6 ideally would be the last time you could use it.
Yeah,
That
the
makes
final
sense. So
six. Yeah.
so let me ask you, man. So we're talking about High, talking about his imaginary idol. What do you think about Marianne finding the real idol?
Man, it's just so sickening seeing people walk by trees and it's just sitting in plain view. You don't have to even move anything.
Yeah.
Lindsay, she couldn't even find it when it was. She even touched.
Yeah.
Touch.
Yeah,
I
I
think she
know, right?
touched it.
Yeah,
So
Lindsay was looking for it, couldn't find it. Marianne stumbles upon it and
how
gets
many
it.
times are they stumbling upon? That's when you know you need to fix things. When people are
Hmm.
stumbling upon idols, even Ralph, rest in peace to Ralph, at least he had to move some rocks to get to the idol.
Yeah.
They just see it, man. It's just right there.
Yeah.
It's almost like, hey, here's a radio. So and so's walking down the trail. Put that idol on that branch right there in front of the trail. Just put it right there. It's almost like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. And you've seen some other things too where like they're like, oh, let's hide them inside like a coconut or something like that or whatever. And they're like, oh, that's clever. But on the outside of the coconut, they have a big ass, like bright green tribe colored paint mark on it or something like that. And it's like,
And
yeah,
even man, I thought they did some clever things. I thought that the bucket of water-based paint, guys. I'm a contractor. There's a big difference between water-based and oil-based. An oil-based paint, you ain't getting it off your hand for a while.
mhm,
So, and she just was able to just wash it off because it was a water-based paint. Like, guys, make this a little tougher. Like, if they're gonna stick their hand, put a letter. Beware of what you're about to look for. You know, and then you stick
yeah,
your hand. Make them beware of it. Make them
yeah,
like, oh, why's your hand all red? What just happened? But she was able to wash it off. She didn't wash it all off, but she could have. So I think
yeah,
that it's almost like it's easier for advantages now.
yeah. And to me, I feel like that's part of them having so many in the game. The game is so saturated with advantages that part of it is kind of like I feel like they want that. In a way, I almost kind of feel like they're trying to force drama into the show by having all these advantages. Some stuff is good, like you said, the hand in the red paint. We've never seen that before. To me, that was interesting to watch. If you're going to make,
It was
yeah,
cool,
if you're
but
going
do
to
it right.
make, yeah,
Right.
if you're going to have all these advantages in the game, then do it to where they come with some type of, it's a double-edged sword. You know what I mean? Like she gets an advantage, but she risks getting caught getting it because if you're going to have that many in the game, it just to me it takes away so much of the game that like you have to at least put some type of consequence in there or some type of way where it can go wrong. And we've seen a little bit of that, but not nearly enough to balance out the amount of advantages that are floating around in the
Right.
game.
Make it where it's really a beware. Not
Yeah.
where, oh, it's beware. Oh, my hand's all red. Oh, we got the shot, guys. Production, we got the shot. Move on. Just go wash it off. Like make it to where there's a conversation. They had the little conversation I seen with Tori, but it was neither here nor there. It just disappeared, that
Mm-hmm.
conversation. But
Right.
if her hand would have stayed red, the whole tribe would have been like, what's up with your hand? And
Mm-hmm.
she would have had to make up something. I would have said,
Or
they had a big thing of paint that I accidentally put my hand in. I thought it
yeah.
was water,
Or
and
let me point this out too. They put where she had to put her hand in the red paint, right? And you're thinking, oh man, what a moment. She's going to get caught literally red handed. How's she going to explain this to her tribe mates? Whatever. Production, like, here's the thing. To me, you want, if you're going to have her and get her hand all red, yeah, it's suspenseful to watch her try and get rid of that. But to me, it's even more suspenseful to watch her get caught. So don't put the thing of red paint 2 feet away from the water well to where she can instantly walk over and rinse it off. To me, that's a huge miss by production. Yeah, you're going to get this really cool moment, but it's like you pretty much you cap yourself by putting it next to the water well to where you can get it immediately, turn around and rinse it off her hand. Like, and that to
man,
me, like,
if you and I went to a real production board meeting and tried to make Survivor, if they wanted to know and bring a few of the YouTube members with us, I guarantee you it would be one of the best seasons they've ever had. Because
oh
those
yeah,
are the moments that, like, holy crap, what are you going to do now? Because they got
yeah,
paint out there that you ain't getting off your hand.
yeah. Like if it was me, I would have had it so, wherever the water well is. opposite side of the fucking can. You know what I mean? Like, to me, I'm kind of like, if she wants to get this off her hand, she's going to have to either sneak through camp or blatantly walk right through camp to get to the ocean to get this off her hand. I'm not going to put it right next to the water well and make it easy because, and to me, I don't understand why production, in a way, like they sold themselves short. You know what I mean? Like they could have had this massive payoff, and
And I
instead,
was upset when it didn't, man. I was like, are you kidding me? She
yeah,
just washed it right off. Like I was
yeah,
like, because I was excited for the moment too. I thought initially it was a brilliant move by production,
hmm,
caught red-handed,
yeah,
but then she washed it right off.
yeah. That's one thing. There are certain elements to these 41 and 42 I don't think we see again because now that people have watched the seasons, I don't think it'll work. Like the hourglass, I think that's done and gone. The silly, I'll say stupid phrases to activate an idol, I don't think
Right.
that's coming back. This
The red
though,
paint
the
could have been genius, man. It could have been genius.
yeah, and the red paint though, I think is something they could bring back because
Yeah.
that to me is something that can be implemented into other seasons because it's unique as opposed like to the saying the idol clues, that's a dead giveaway. Or with this, the red paint getting caught red-handed or something along those
I mean, you
lines.
could do something even more drastic, and you can see something and say, "Be cautious," or
Mm-hmm.
some clue saying, "If you go this route, you it's it can save you, guarantee safety for a tribal, but after that, beware." And then you grab the idol, you pull it down, and a bucket of red paint falls on your whole body. It's
Right.
like, oh shit!
Right. Yeah. So not only are you covered in paint, this bright green jungle is now covered in red paint. You know what I mean?
Right,
So it's like
right.
somebody walks by and they're like, "What the hell happened?" So yeah, I mean, I think they could do a lot with that, and that's the kind of stuff that I would like to see. Like if you're gonna have a game full of advantages, make these people have to really like work around them and stuff. But
Yeah.
with advantages, man, so High goes home tonight, right? So now Drea and Lindsay's amulet moves to like the next tier in terms of power. So now, and now they have a vote steal, but they have to come together on it, right? They have to
No, I
agree.
think can't Drea still a vote straight up? I mean, not a vote, still an idol straight up.
Well, that's her own thing. That's what she got for the
Yeah.
red-handed. But in
Okay.
the
Yeah.
very very first episode, High, Lindsay, and Drea ran that leg of the challenge. Remember, they all got like a little amulet, and so with the three of them in the game, they would have to come together and collectively use it as a. I don't remember what it was, man. But now that High is gone, or
You
they
know what I'm
could.
gonna do if I play again, man? I'm gonna be at a challenge and I'm gonna just randomly say, Jeff. He's gonna look at me. He's like, everybody's gonna silence. I'm gonna say, one time, my cow ate my mailbox, and that's it. And he'd be like, that's an advantage. He just got an advantage. Like
Mm-hmm.
I just make
The
some weird shit up, and now you have an advantage.
right,
People say,
yeah.
well, you heard what Russell said? Russell just said that. Remember, guys, you
Yeah.
play that game. Just saying.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean and I personally I've never thought of anything like that. I mean, I've thought about making
Right.
fake advantages, stuff like that, but that that's adapting to the new gameplay, you know what I mean? And saying and you know what? You almost wonder now with the group that just went out, having watched 41 and 42, if that's something that somebody might try and,
Woo, man,
pull out
it's
of
gonna
their
get
hat.
more and more aggressive, which it's supposed to. That's what it's supposed to be. But hopefully they went a different route with casting this time. I hope because
Yeah.
41 was a disaster, and
Mm-hmm.
I know that they seen the numbers drop. Watch what's gonna happen. Numbers from last episode to this episode probably lose 300,000 people because it was more of a all it's almost like none of that even mattered now because
Yeah.
Drea is all about, oh, I'm playing the game now. Yeah, I had that moment, but forget about that. Oh, yeah, I forgot. This is Survivor.
Yeah.
So doesn't matter who I vote out at this point.
So let me
So
ask you, do you think that with now only two people, Drea and Lindsay, being left with the amulet, that if one of them goes home, which one has to go before the other, then the last person standing, if that amulet's not played, becomes an idol. Do you think now that high is gone, do you think Lindsay or Drea targets the other one and hopes that that person goes and they're left with an idol?
so when that's played, when it becomes an idol, isn't it just the person that has it? Like,
Right. So basically, like Drea
so
or
could
Lindsay,
Drea have voted off? Okay, could Drea vote off Marianne? No, who has the amulet? Who has the
Drea and Lindsay. So one of them has to go
ah?
for the amulet to become an idol.
So if Drea votes out Lindsay, she has two idols,
Right.
basically.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
she makes it to the final five just by playing idols.
Yeah. If she votes off Lindsay at this next round, she basically restocks that idol that she just burned up, and when Tori went home.
Yeah,
You
this is how
know.
Jonathan's going to go home. He's going to go home because Drea's going to play an idol and he's going to go home. Someone is going to go home because Drea, because she's going to get, she has idols. So she knows Mike has one. She just takes Mike's idol. Next move she makes, it votes Lindsay out. Bam, two idols. And
Mm-hmm.
then she's going to play it because there's only a few times she can play it.
Mm-hmm.
Still a vote on one of the times when she's about to go home, something like that. And she can ride it all the way to the final three. And we're going to see people go home because she plays idol, which she found the idol the same way Marianne found an idol. I've never
Yeah.
seen in Survivor history that easy. Is it always that easy now? It just sits on a V tree, just sitting there. Drea's was even easier. You could see it from a mile away, sitting on that
Yeah.
tree.
Yeah. I mean, Drea right now has the potential to run the rest of this game because I can't remember what all she has, but she can still, like you said, she can steal Mike's idol
She could
at
run
the
the
next
game.
tribal. She can steal his idol, play it at 7, go to the final 6, right? If Lindsay goes out, then she can play that idol, go from the final 6 to the final 5. For her, like she can run if she really is going to stop playing with her heart, like she said, and play strategically. Then Drea right now has the cards in her hand to really run the game. And if she doesn't, if she fumbles it, it'll be interesting to see how that happens with her having her loaded pockets the way she does. But it would be a big time blunder for her to not get to the finals or
Major.
close. Sometimes you get to the final 4, you lose that lame ass fire challenge they got in it now, and you
Right.
can't
I don't
help it.
like
You know
that.
what I mean? At
Yeah.
that point, you can't help it. But if she doesn't make an incredibly deep run far past the final 7, then it's to me it's going to be a letdown and a disappointment, especially with her, wanting to really turn it on, having these loaded pockets, and if she takes out Lindsay and steals Mike's idol, she could potentially be sitting with 2 idols
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
right now the final 7.
So
So
Lost Guy 17 super chat. Yep. Back in the day, they were a little bit harder to find, and that's without a clue. So I had to find mine in the middle of camp with
mm-hmm,
everybody watching. Because I seen the tree and I was like, why wouldn't it be in there? And I
mm-hmm,
looked in there and there it was. And then I thought for a second, maybe I shouldn't look for it right now. Maybe I shouldn't go for it. Wait till at night because it's still going to be there. But
yeah,
I was just too excited. I had to get it, and
yeah,
I
no,
didn't even care.
yeah, you don't really see idols anymore that you have to dig for, or like James or Malcolm had to literally pry their idols off of things to find out that it was an idol. You had to climb up a tree or just or the one that
I
you
had to
found.
dig and dig and dig and dig. One time I dug one time for days.
Yeah.
I dug in that hole for days
Yeah,
and
and there
couldn't
was the
find it.
one you found that was like in a rock wall covered in like moss or something like that.
Right.
No one would ever have found those idols just walking by. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah,
And
no, you have to look and move stuff. You don't even you know what? I think that's because they're so stupid nowadays. They don't they don't even know how to look for
Mhm.
idols. So and I made it to where idols are exciting. So now it's almost like here, let's make the show better. Cause
Right.
because when Drea found an idol, I remember it was like 12 days into the game when she actually found the idol, just was sitting there. So you
Hmm.
can't tell me that that idol was sitting there for 12 days on the trail and nobody found it.
Yeah. And I'm pretty confident as well that the first one that Marianne found was relatively easy to find too. Um, I don't remember her finding it. Well, I do like her being like obnoxiously like excited. I don't love Marianne. That's probably controversial, I know, but not a fan personally.
I don't like her at all,
Um,
man. I
yeah,
was
she's
so hoping she didn't get the pizza today. I did not want her to get the pizza. I'm starting to not like her at all.
yeah. I mean, as a person outside of the game, I'm certain she is a very kind, very nice person. But as like to me, she's not a survivor player. She's not very strategic. She's not very aware of the game. You've seen her have little, tips and blowups like Jonathan. That shows that like her social awareness, her social game is not, that great. Strategically, we've not seen anything from her. But as a character, she is very
Yeah,
polarizing
well,
for
when
better
you
or for
don't like
worse.
someone, it keeps you
Yeah.
watching the show. It's
Yeah.
like Philip or some people don't like Coach because of that. Like what's her name that knew how to do everything? She was a flight
Oh shit.
attendant. She was a
Debbie.
Debbie, like Debbie. I mean, or the
Yeah.
annoying girl that asked the girl for her coat,
Right.
Angelina. Like
Angelina.
there's always those people
Hmm.
that are annoying, but we watch, we tune in because we want to see them gone.
Exactly, exactly. I mean, you either got to root for somebody or against somebody. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like you watch football to watch Tom Brady lose, right? So I mean, it's. I mean, yeah. I mean, she's definitely polarizing, and love her or hate her, she is. Anytime she's on the screen, she pulls you in, like you said, either because you are rooting for her or you're like, man, I hope you don't get that food. You know what I mean? So
Man,
she
I
is.
was like, please don't let her get that.
Yeah.
Please.
So
Even
now
though I was
she's.
pissed off at Lindsay for not taking Jonathan, it's like, man, he did everything for you.
Hmm.
You're there because of him.
Yep. Yep. And now even Marianne has another idol, just like that. Burned
So
hers up.
Marianne has, if she burned one, she has one. She says she's not telling anybody.
Right.
And then we have Drea that has potentially two idols and a still a vote. Does she have anything? She has something else, I
I think
think.
she has an extra vote, and I think she has the steal a vote and an extra vote.
Wow. So by herself, with one person, she has four votes.
Hmm.
If she gets one person that she trusts, four votes.
Yeah, and they're at the final seven. That's majority. So
Wow. If
that's
she
what I
plays the
mean.
cards right, man.
If she does it right, if she does it right, she can be, like I said last week, one of the best first time players we've seen. If she drops the ball, it's going to be one of those big time blunders that we're like, man, you had it. You know what I mean? Like
And
she'll be
she
the.
and she's still very she's just always calm. Even I know people have their opinions on the last tribal, but even when she lost the challenge, she just sits down slowly.
Yeah.
And Jeff's like, Drea, super calm. Like
Mm-hmm.
just slowly walks away. No emotion whatsoever.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
The last week's tribal aside, you have to like her as a player because
I've
that.
always liked her.
Yeah, because
I've
that
always
level.
liked her. I still like her as a player. I I said on my members only video, I have members only. I do once a week a video for just the members. I
Mhm.
said on that video that if she would come and say, I'm playing the race card because I want to win this money and this is my game, screw you, that's what I'm doing.
Hmm.
we would all respect that. It's like, hey, if that's what you think you need to do to get further in this game, I would not hate on that.
Yeah,
I'd be
I
like,
mean,
let's go.
yeah, I mean, it would be incredibly controversial, but the thing is that
One of the
people,
biggest moves in the history of the game, it
one of the
would be.
biggest, yeah, yeah. I mean, but I mean, people have lied about dead relatives to get
Right.
further in this game, and people look at that as one of the best moves in Survivor history. In the moment, it might not be received too well, but give it some time, and people, would maybe step back from the situation and say, look, you went out there to play a game where from the get go,
Yeah.
from the very first season, has been built on lying and manipulating, outwit, outplay, outlast. You do what you have to do to do that in the game. And, for her,
When
like,
you're able to do that, man, when you're able to step back and do things like that, swear on your kids when it's your kids are your world, swear on your grandma, your grandpa,
mm-hmm,
swear on your dad. When you're able to do that and still know it's a game, like my mindset, it's a game.
mm-hmm,
When you're able to go that deep, that's a dangerous and well-rounded player
yeah.
because it's most people can't do that kind of thing.
Yeah. And I think, and the truth is, man, I think that you would probably see a lot more of that in the game. But in today's day and age, like people are so worried about life after the game that I think people go in there and they play the game and they're worried about, like, man, if I say this or I do this, because like you and I have talked before about how if I got to the end of the game and got to the final tribal council, that's where a lot of people air their dirty laundry and they tell the truth. And a conversation we had before, I'm like, if I got to the end of the game and I was sitting in the final tribal, I would tell one of the biggest lies ever in the history of the game and hope to sway in some jury votes. And people might be like, man, like, what if you played a great game and then you did this big lie just to sway some votes? I'm like, dude, because the
Right.
game doesn't stop on day 39, man. Final tribal, you still are playing the game.
I mean, you can
So
say you had cancer. You can say like some. You can say some stuff that hits deep
yeah,
to half the nation,
yeah.
but but you're playing the game.
Yeah, and the outside world will tear you apart. Will tear you apart. But in the game, if you're out there to play the game and you don't care about that, if you're there for one purpose and that's to win the game, if winning's that important to you, which like for the people who truly want to play, I think that any card that you can play to kind of to try and sway that in your favor, you got to do it. And for her, I mean, if she came out and made the statement, like if she got to the end and said, "You remember that one tribal? That was a play." Rather if it was true or
If she
not,
comes back and says that somewhere, if she actually admits to that, which she won't,
no,
but
you
if
you
she
can't.
did, but can she? We need to cast people that will do that. Will make that move. Do you think that? What do you think production would say if she says, or somebody one day uses the race card,
Hmm.
but tells us, I just used the race card. Yep, that just happened. How did we feel about that? Is it better to use it and not say that you used it, or use it and say, "Yep, that's what just happened."
Yeah, I mean, you have to ask yourself then, from a production standpoint, does production say, "Hey, look, like we understand that was your game move. We can't air that because we
You
don't
don't
want to
think they would air
fall."
it?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
They have to, man.
I don't know.
That
I I don't know. Like 18, we're in a different world now than we were when
I'm
Fair
using the
Play
race
lied
card when
about
I
a dead
play.
grandma.
I'm using the race card when I play. I'm be like, I'm white, so y'all shouldn't vote me out because I'm white.
Right.
See if that
Where's
works for me.
and by the time you play again, the Caucasians very well might be the minority. In
In
fact,
the world of Survivor, yes,
in the World
for sure.
Survivor, yeah, I'm pretty certain that this season Caucasian Americans were the minority. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure there were more people of color than there were Caucasian Americans. I don't know that for sure, but I think that
Well, no,
was
there's
the
12,
case.
12 point something percent, or I think the black community is 12 point something percent, and then whatever else, and
Hmm.
it's like close to that with all the
Hmm.
communities, and then there's white.
Yeah,
But Survivor's 50-50 though.
yeah, yeah. Now it is, and
We have two white people left.
yeah.
How are we talking about race when there's only two white people left and five white people were already voted off, did not even make the merge, and still we talking about race?
Yeah. Yeah. And and that was just the thing. Like Dre is like, man, I look up at the jury and I see, two people of color on the jury. Well, do you realize that only two Caucasian Americans made the merge? I believe, or no, three, including Tori. Three
Right.
made the merge, and it's just like, to me, it's just kind of like how you said last week. You wanted and cried out for diversity in casting, right? So now the cast is heavily diverse and will be that way moving forward. You can't sit there and say, man, that jury is looking like a whole lot of people of color, because guess what? In one season, I mean, it might be that way from season to
Yeah,
season
man,
now moving forward.
it's gonna get ridiculous, man. It's gonna, just like Brent says here, his strategic maybe, hey, I'm white, I can't win, take me to the end. Like, is it gonna, when is it gonna end? When is it gonna stop? Uh, People now, no matter what anybody says, whoever's playing 43 right now, they're gonna have to play this game with skin color in mind.
Hmm.
And who did that?
Unfortunately.
Who did that? How did that happen? It happened within, from season 41 to after 40, season 41, when they decided to split and make everything 50-50, people of color and white people. Then all of a sudden, now it's a race thing. Now it's a race thing. It never was before. Now it is.
Yeah. And I don't know, man. I hope that, like, how quickly we saw the show go from last week to this week, and just in the show, you didn't even see last tribal council referenced. You didn't see that conversation referenced at all. And to me, I'm hoping that that is how quickly we can move forward. I'm hoping that, in future, I'm hoping that that is, like, it was there. It was a conversation. It happened. Let's move on with the game. And to
Uh,
me, I hope we can get to that point to where, like, the game overall can
well,
get away from that.
I mean, dude, you might not like the lady, but ever since they lost Lynn Spillman, things are going downhill fast.
Yeah.
And that was the casting director. But guys, it's been an hour and 22 minutes. Usually I go an hour with Keaton and I do it by myself. I'm gonna go by myself right now, Keaton, so I don't have to go too long. Appreciate it. I know we got a lot of love from the viewers. Keaton's much, you're more knowledgeable. Cody just has a lot of things going on right now, which is fine. But we're getting much love. If you like more of Keaton, comment in the comment section. Maybe you need to write him back, Keaton. They see you. They see you. See the comments. You have a YouTube. You have a, it'll say Keaton, right? Your YouTube.
Yeah, yeah. I had to go in and kind of like re-update it, because I haven't really used YouTube for much in a
Okay.
while. So I'm back on it now. I'll promise to be active moving forward. I had to dust it off to kind of to come on the podcast, or to come on the show last week, and moving
Yeah.
forward, I'll definitely have a presence. So we're good to
So
go.
what I do after this, if you're new to the channel, I go on and I do another hour or so by myself. We talk about whatever. It's kind of like more of a Q&A thing, and I try to get members of the channel, fun stuff like that. This is just reviewing the episode, and now it's just me. So appreciate that, Keaton. See
Yes,
you
sir.
next week. Always have a good conversation, and we'll always will. So next time,
Absolutely, buddy.
see you next week.
See you, man. Thank you.
Yeah, have a good one, man. Later, brother. All right. Now, if you're still here and you still want to talk, this is when you leave. If you are done, or if you think you're going to hear more Survivor talk, I guess we can talk some Survivor talk. I don't have to have this on my head anymore. but mostly we just talk. Get to know each other, try to get some members. I'm going to shoot for 5 members. 5. You members, most of you know, we got 20 members. 20 members. So if you're watching this and you're like, oh, I don't want to listen no more because I'm here for Survivor, you can leave. That's fine. But if you were here and you just want to, when I do this in Thailand, I don't know if I'll be in Thailand when it's, no, I won't. But we love Keaton. Keaton's a good guy. He very, very knowledgeable in the world of Survivor. Do I pay Keaton? Nope, I do not pay him. We're not that big of a channel yet. I wish I could one day. Brett, you're not even a member of the channel. You guys know how this works. Let's get some members. See, we lost 10 people already. They just want to sit here and talk Survivor. And now I can see the colors. Your colors. I was number 17. Yep. When we did the 20, you were number 17. Then I write your name down when you become a member. I got to fix this, though. I didn't even put this the whole time on here. Put it now. This is some of the members. That's not all of them. I got to get a whole nother thing. If you don't see your name on here and you're on here, and you're a member, let me know so I can write your name down. I need to do that. That's why I'm going to Florida. I'm about to go to Florida I go there. A girl named Denise. She's a big developer with the channel. I go there and she helps with different things. Let's say we need to fix up the page, do different things. Yeah, I'm not good at that stuff. So let's go back to the comments. You are a member. Yep. I used to have I pay Keaton, but that's another story. Oh, I used to have it was called russellgotscrewed.com. And we're selling t-shirts. russellgotscrewed.com. After I lost the first 2. We're working. I was going to take my shirt off and have it live. Can y'all see I'm losing weight? Look at me. Holy crap. Look at me. Look how, usually I'm super big up here. So far, I am down to 205. I am on the road to 200 pounds. I started this journey at 135. Right now, I'm 205. I'm on my 3rd day of fasting this set. So I have, this is day 3. Tomorrow's day 4 already of a 7-day fast. So, but I'm not going to eat again if I'm not 200 until I'm 200, which means I'll be 199. So, but look how small I mean, dude, I'm usually full up here. So, look at members in the house. Who we got here that's not a member that's been commenting a lot. We need members. And last time we had, what's his name? He's not even here this week. Your boy was putting out some money last week. Who was that? Some of you members remember. Who was that? That was putting out some. I don't see him in here. Brett, I see you. You're not a member. You're commenting. I like to get members that comment. So that's why I look at this stuff, because the ones that vocal on the page, I like that. That's like, hey, this or that, or have good comments, because I know they care. The ones that just want to watch. Nightmare Assassin. Nightmare Assassin. Someone else said Nightmare. We got someone here that's not a member that knows the Assassin. Assassin's not here today. I don't know why. The assassin is not here today. Everybody's nightmare. It was funny because Boo don't know how this stuff works. So when he sees that stuff, he legitimately gets excited. It's funny how that works. Nightmare assassin. We need more members. We got one member today. I think we got one member today. I didn't write it down though. Let me see if I can figure out that. I don't think I can. Nightmare Assassin was the man last episode. I don't know what happened to him tonight. See, everybody remembers that. We need more members. We got Brett here. It's not Mike Tyson. It's Brett. You got to become a member so this channel can get exciting, so I can start paying people like Keaton. Because I would, if we started doing really well, I would pay people to come on and just have fun. Dude, you don't even know. It was that night that we did that and we went out. It was a nice, crazy night. Beautiful, beautiful girls. That's all I'm going to say about that. I'll say more if it was private and on a private page, like I'm going to do in Thailand with the Facebook page. All the members are going to have private Facebook pages. When I do stuff, maybe YouTube thinks it's inappropriate, we're going to be privately on a Facebook page because they don't do that. I can't have my channel just blocked and disappeared because some random crazy stuff happened. I don't care about Facebook. If they block me from Facebook, so what? I don't even use it anyway. But this is different. So we're going to leave this channel and go live on Facebook. All the members are going to have, once that happens, that's one thing. Another thing I'm going to do in Florida, I told you guys that, is set up the Facebook page and start adding the members to the Facebook page. Yep. The ladies there were amazing. I got recognized quite a bit though. I don't say, hey, you know who I am? But if they recognize me, because it was recently on Netflix. So if they recognize me, I'm not gonna be like, nah, let's not talk about that. I'm like, yeah, you want a picture? Let's take a picture. So we have a good old time. Oh, dude, I'm starving right now. You're not even a member and you know about Taco Bell? Oh, did that Taco Bell? Oh, because I went live on YouTube, but I always delete my stupid stuff. But on my Facebook page, I'm gonna be able to go live and I don't have to delete it. But yeah, man, I'm starving. That Taco Bell was amazing. And maybe that's because I'm so hungry right now. Give you tips on getting the ladies. I don't know, man. You just got to be there, I guess. I get a lot more comfortable when I start drinking a little bit. I mean, it could be the hottest girl on the bar. It doesn't matter to me. I go up to them, we start talking, bam. Girl just wants confidence, really. You can't afford it. It's $1.99 a month. $1.99. But that's fine. No big deal. Yeah. Yeah, y'all. Some of y'all got Philip Shepard's number. Don't know what you're gonna do with that, but give him a call. See if you have somewhat of a conversation. See, Brett was even live here. He's not a member. If you're following the channel like that deeply, because we did that like at 2:00 in the morning. Maybe not that late. Wasn't that late. 12 o'clock. When I drink, I like to do I just do shots. I don't even drink. Like I don't, most people just hold their drink and sip on it, I just say, give me a shot. Do a shot, give me a shot. All night long. So that's all I do. So every shot I do is like a full drink. So it gets, I drank a little too much. It wasn't that bad. Didn't act a fool, nothing. I think I tweeted something. And I don't mind taking down stuff later. Let's say why don't you leave that tweet up? If I tweet something because I'm a dumbass drinking, I'm going to take it down. Me and Sydney, we doing our thing. She's, I don't know. She's losing track right now. Sydney, she better step it up. So we need at least 3 members, guys. At least 3. Why are you going to Thailand? I'm just going to experience. As soon as I get my renewed passport, I'm booking my. That's the only reason why I didn't book my plane yet. Just don't have the passport. I don't want to book it until I get then. But when I get my passport, I'm booking it. Me and my son. $2,000. Two round trip tickets. And I might not stay as long as I wanted to because I'm just worried about my son coming back by himself. You know, and he's 17, stopping in Japan for 8 hours. I might stay for a month and just come back with him. And then go back if I want to go back by myself. It's just so expensive to fly there. Once you get there, it's cheap. So once you get there, oh, that's my grandma and grandpa. Both of them passed away. My grandma died when she was 95, only about 5 years ago. That's my grandpa. He was a prisoner of war in World War II. He got captured in the Bataan Death March by the Japanese. And we're talking about flying there now. But a prisoner of war for 3.5 years. Best man I ever known right there. Good man. Honorable. And if you know anything about history and you ever heard of the Bataan Death March, then you know how serious that was. And he was locked up he won the state championship, and he was an athlete, won the state championship 2 years in a row in high school. And he had a good build. And I don't know how much he weighed when he went in, probably about, just a little smaller, but 170, something like that. When he came out, he weighed 75 pounds. So, and he survived that. And then that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. So thanks, Grandpa, for that. Yeah, they did a movie about the Bataan Death March not long ago called, anybody know? It was an athlete. It was a distance runner. And that movie was based on the same place he went. They called one of the soldiers Bird. He wrote about him. They said when they hit the dude, they lined him up and they hit this dude, each prisoner. He was one of the ones that hit the dude, unbroken. Yep. He was one of the ones in line that had to hit the guy. Like he talked about that in when we talked, we have footage and we recorded stuff that he said. So you leaving? Peace out. The name of the movie is Unbroken. If you haven't seen that movie, watch it. It's amazing. But it's about the Bataan Death March, where he was. And he died when I was pretty young. I think he was in his 70s. But his wife, she lived, my grandmother, until she was 95. Her sisters are still living, 2 of them. They're both over 100. So I guess we ain't getting no members today, guys. We got 1 member while we were doing the show. And we don't even have Nightmare Assassin in the house today. Oh, I didn't know she directed that. You know, Angelina Jolie directed that? I didn't know that. Yep, True Survivor. That's the thing. We just playing a game, guys. It's just a game. That's real. That's real life. I think I'm tough because I can go 14 days without eating right now. I went 12 days without eating just the other day, not eating nothing. And I'm like, oh, nobody could do that. I'm tough. I'm tough. Like I'm going 7 right now. I'm on day 3, not eating. And I'm like, oh, I think I'm tough. I'm like, you ain't shit. Like I ain't shit. We think we tough. I don't. I do watch some UFC. Boo's a UFC fighter. He's 6-0 actually, but he just you know, he's getting older and doesn't want to do it no more, I guess. Why aren't I eating? Well, I'm trying to. I weighed 235 pounds when I started this journey. I think I started about 25 days ago, and now I'm 235, and now I am 230 pounds right now. 230, and then I'm trying to get to I'm on the road to 200 right now. Once I get to 200, then I'm getting in the 90s, and I'm gonna be on the road to 180. That's gonna be exciting. So also I tried to join, but you called me a spoiler earlier, and it was wrong. I know nothing. I don't know calling anybody a spoiler. I just say we don't spoil on this channel. You don't know nothing. You don't know nothing. So I'm a huge fan, but that hurts. We'll become a member of the family so we can forgive each other. That's how that works, Carol. Become a member. Like your boy. It feels like I've seen that name before. Let me look at this. Let me look down here. See if your name pops up. Mr. American. Tyler. I don't even have. I don't think I have Nightmare Assassin on there. We got Addison. Tammy. I guess not. Writing your name down right now. Kendall. Kendall Jenner. Wouldn't that be something? Oh, shit. I don't know if those are real people, though. You know? They're simulate. There's, what do you call that? They're just in that world, the simulation world. Keaton's, he's gone already. If you missed it, you missed it. Keaton's gone. He's here. He was here an hour and 30 minutes with us, guys. Addison, I gotta accept things on this thing, and don't let me do this here. I've been watching you since the start. I don't know why I've never subscribed. Well, I'm glad you subscribed. You finally came around because I've been doing this. You know, you might have been here during the tiny house. Your name looks familiar. Might have been here during the tiny house videos. Not all members are on the scroll, but I need to do another one because there was too much room on here. So if you're not on the scroll, let me know so I can, because I'm putting Kindle on another scroll and I can put the names of the new members. I was your Patreon for you. That's how I know who you are. Your name. Your familiar name. That's how. This is only $1.99. I don't even ask you guys to do more. I know you can subscribe for more than that, but I don't even ask to do more than that. Just $1.99. I don't want to, unless you can afford it, you want to support the channel, then hey, that's different. But long live John. Man, I thought that Jonathan was gone today. Oh, you're not on the scroll? Okay. I'm Pro. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, I wouldn't call this season. I know everybody's upset. Where's the 199 link? Don't tell me you're from Canada, because people from Canada have problem finding the link. I don't even know how you do it. You guys, it's a member. Let Brett know how to do that. But somebody will tell you right now where it is. Kendall. Okay, I see right there. No, so you guys say it's a season, but man, this season, yes, that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way last tribal, but I can see them trying to go a different direction with it. It gives me a little hope for season 43. I don't think we're going to see a damn thing about this person looking like me or this person of color. I mean, we just had Drea complain about two people of color that was voted out when there's only two people left that were white. And then not one of those white people were involved in voting Roxroy out. It made no sense. So I'm from Canada. Join button near subscription button on the computer. Should be right there somewhere. I don't know what it looks like because it's my channel. If I go to somebody else's, I guess I could see, but they'd have to be live. Let's see who's live. Let's see if somebody's live. Let's go to Rob's. Let's see if he's live. Rob has a podcast. Let's see if they're live. I got to get my internet here. Wi-Fi on. My phone's not on Wi-Fi. Is he not? Is he already off? Know-it-alls episode. They call it episode 10. I don't. That was episode 9 because they counted the 2 episodes in one. That wasn't 2. That was 1 episode. So I don't do that. Oh, so he's already gone. 41 minutes, Rob? That's all you're going to give him? 41 minutes? Man, you're killing me. Unless he's on now. 41 minutes. We've been here almost 2 hours. Sometimes it's disappointing. I'm seeing if he's still alive. I don't think he is, though. Nah. Nope. Done. Who is that? Who is that?
Play hockey since they're
Aaron
really
Moss?
little. We get them on the ice at about 2.5 or 3. And my 6-year-old now is in like his first like real team, like tournaments, like the whole thing. And they had their first tournament.
Who is that?
This weekend.
Am I supposed to know who that is?
Like, I've seen 1,000 hockey games.
Aaron
like,
Moss.
I'm like, I kind of watch and I kind of am into it. And if it's like an important game, I'm like really like on the edge of my seat. But like,
whatever. I would, but he's not. He's already gone. That's why I was going to do it. I was going to go in there and see what's up. I don't know who Aaron Moss is, but that's who they got on the show tonight. I didn't see Rob. I just seen Fishback. Trust me, if I can hijack things, I would. But they're already gone. I was gonna have some fun with it. He's gone. Is he not gone? YouTube. Rob has a podcast. Oh, Aaron from. She didn't look like that, but Aaron from Survivor, long time ago. I remember Aaron. Y'all, you guys remember, if you look at it like that, Aaron. I always thought she was hot. Never met her. Token Cheens. That's how he's on there, because he was on Token Cheens with Coach and Aaron from, yeah. That's who that was. No, I would. That's funny. I didn't even know that. No, not that one. Rob took a magic 8 ball as his personal item. He's a joke. I think that would be fun. That's how you spell her name, isn't it? Because that's not how they put it on here. They had 2 N's. Maybe we're probably wrong, because so let's see. You heard that I made a fake idol that Dave found on Samoa. We did make a fake idol, but it was not, it was like, it didn't matter one way or the other, because it was like, it just didn't work out. But I don't think it was used. You see, it's so insignificant to me that I don't really recall. I do remember trying to make one, but I don't remember finishing, because I didn't need one. I was just running the game. And Dave got anger issues, poor guy. Like he just doesn't want to talk. I was playing around, joking around, and said, "You bitch ass, Dave." I guess he can't take a joke. And then he blocked me. He does that Twitch stuff. He just didn't want to talk. I'm like, well, talk to me. Don't just block me. You got something to say it. Yeah, maybe. Who knows? Okay, so we got 2. Did we get 2? We got 2 members. 2 members while we're here. We need 1 more. That's 2 members. Courtney Kardashian. I don't know who Courtney Kardashian is. I'm Matur Pro in general. Jindal Jazz. So here's the member right here. You could have it covered in fake out. You see, they're starting to make the idols a lot easier to fake, because you can look at the idols now and they're just beads on a string. The reason they're doing that, so people do make fake idols, but this season nobody even tries. There's just beads on a string now. So they're making them to where they don't even look official. So people will, is that real? Is that fake? Because without High actually lying about his fake idol, he could have actually showed them, I have an idol. You have a wannabe member. If you can't afford it, that's fine. I don't push people. It sounds like I push people, but I don't. You guys, if you can't afford it, I want you to be a member, because you can't afford $1.99, then yeah, you need to spend that on something else. Why does it say? Does it not say you're a new member here? because the longer you're a member, then you getting your colors starting to change. That's why I have my phone on my channel now as we talk, so I can look at the colors of the people. I'll show you. Look, let me turn that down. As we talk, so I can see. You might not see this, but I mean, you don't see it on the screen, and I don't see it. I see all this color, all green. Oh. But as you can see, you got one dark green, one light green. So it shows me who's been a member longer. Show lazy ass bastards on the other channels. Lazy ass bastards. They only was on there for 45 minutes. Bunch of bitches. So, there it is. That's what I wanted. 3 members. Appreciate it, Brett. You did it. Brett's a member. Write his name down here. Appreciate that, man. Supporting the channel. My goal is to have 1,000 members. I think I got 50 now. So I got a long ways to go. But we did get 20 that one stream. Some of you members know. Got another member. Let's go. TB12. Appreciate that, man. That's 4 members today. I'm content with 4 members. So that's why I do this, guys. I come on here and we don't talk that much Survivor. We just talk. Sooner or later, we'll have hundreds of people on here after Survivor's over with just the members. That's what I'm looking forward to. You're a member now. Oh, laughing every time you say I'm not a member. You got me into Survivor. It's $1.99, man. I appreciate that. What I should have did when I lost Survivor, when I should have won, is I should have did a Venmo account or what do you call it? Not Venmo, that thing that people do to get money to maybe if somebody's sick or something. What's that called? And I should do that and say, just because. This ain't charity. This is, if you think Russell deserved to win Survivor, I need 1 million people to give $1. GoFund. Yep. GoFundMe page. Appreciate that. BT. That's called dyslexia. TB12, not BT12. GoFundMe. I might do a GoFundMe with something. And I might do one for charity. I might do one for something like that. Maybe one day, but right now it's for me. I hate when people bullshit, and people bullshit you. They say, oh, I'm going to give this much for charity. Like if you're watching the case, the Johnny Depp case, probably half the people on here are. It's crazy how people are so enamored by that case. But the girl, Johnny gives her, 7 million, something like that. I don't know the exact numbers. But then she says she's giving it all to charity. Come to find out, that bitch didn't even give him 400,000. It's like, talk. I'm giving it charity. I don't need to talk. If I do something, I want to do it. Sometimes I do things like that, but I don't do it publicly. I do it. I might help someone that needs help. I might see something that needs to be somebody with their groceries that I'm in front of that can't afford something. I do stuff like that all the time. I don't put it on camera. And I sure the hell aren't going to trust some multi-billion-dollar organization to give my money to and think that they're going to do what I want them to do. I guarantee you've got $100 to something like St. Luke's Hospital. $1 of that probably goes to the kid. I mean, I'm not saying charities are all bad, but I'm telling you, a lot of them are full of shit. And I just have a problem with that. So, it's like, man, don't say that shit. Don't say, oh, I'm going to do this to make yourself look good. That's the thing. That's with me. I guess that's why casting loved me, and that's why people follow me, because I say how I think. Why am I going to sit here? If I ever come on here, I'm saying and say that I'm doing something for charity, it's going to be something that's really close to my heart, and it's all going to go to that. It's not going to be a joke. It's almost how I feel about religion. You know, people talk about religion, they say they're religious, but then they go and do something crazy, and people say, "Well, I thought you were not like that, but I thought you were." It makes you look stupid. Don't say it unless you mean it. So, and I say all the time, I'm not giving it to charity. And I want to do some things when I get to Thailand. I haven't said exactly what it was. Some of y'all I've said maybe privately on the channel, but I don't sugarcoat it. That's right. I say what it is. And this is all live. All this is going to go on my channel live. This will be on my YouTube channel forever. So somebody can come back. Let's say I run for president, which I guess you never know. And then they'll come back and they'll say, "Oh, he said he don't give money to charity." No, I don't trust these billion-dollar organizations. And if you do, you're probably being fooled. And I don't want to damper what if you look into something and you keep looking and you find something. Let's say you win a ton of money, $100 million. You want to give some to charity, and you look into it. You find out who you want to give it to, what means to you, what helps you do that. Rather, if they ripping you off or not, it matters what's in your heart. I just don't have the heart to give my money to some organization that I think that's ripping people off. And a lot of charities do that. We see it time. BLK. No, BLM. We find out that people giving to Black Lives Matters, all of a sudden, the people that founded it live in bunch of multi-million-dollar homes. Do you think they're helping the Black community? Is that what's happening? Or you think they're stuffing their pockets? That's what's happening. So I understand you see, Ryan, I had to, this was his comment. BLM is a joke. So I had to, which I'll probably get demonetized because I just said that. Now, it said hidden when none of you guys would have said it if I didn't accept it. Somebody put Jesus as a joke. See if that pops up. See if I have to accept that or if that just pops up. You see what I'm saying? See what I'm trying to say? Like, how come he can't just say that without me having to accept it? I had to go out my way and accept it personally for you guys to see it. Why? We're living in an upside down world, guys. Oh, I guarantee you it'll be yellow, and I'm gonna have to go and request them to view it to make sure it works. Well, no, that didn't show either. To be fair, that didn't show. I had to accept that too. When you put Jesus as a joke, I had to accept it. So I don't know that algorithm, guys. It makes no sense to me. But saying this right here, saying that BLM, why do I have to? It's like if you cuss, they keep it to where you have to give you permission to say that. I'm shocked that this came in, and I had to accept it. I was just making a point. Obviously, I do not think that Jesus is a joke. I'm a Christian guy. I think that's a very, if somebody would say that, and I didn't say, and we weren't just trying to make a point here, I would have a problem with that. I wouldn't say nothing to the person. I would just be like, whatever. And just, because that's my opinion. You know, the thing is, we also have a thing we talk about freedom of speech, right? Anybody can say anything they want. Anything you want, you can say. You can say whatever you want on here. You can talk about my mama, my kids, my daughters. You can say whatever the hell you want, but I don't have to listen to it. You can say what you want, but I don't have to hear it. I could just block you. And then they say, because this happened to Elon Musk just the other day, they say, well, he blocked someone. What happened to freedom of speech, Elon? He don't have to, yes, he agrees with freedom of speech, but he don't have to hear your blabbing voice say it. You can say it I agree with that. Say what you want to say. But we don't have to listen. We could block you. That has nothing to do with, yeah, that's better. We'll leave that up there. That makes me feel a little bit better. So that one I didn't have to privately accept it. This world's a screwed up place, man. That's another thing. People say whatever they want behind the computer. You see, back when I was a kid, we didn't have computers. Like, if you're going to talk about somebody, you had to tell them in their face. And we had fights. They had some people that I fought. Even I got in a fight with Boo before. Fist fight when we were younger. We're best friends. That doesn't mean that it's a fight. Back in the day, that's how we settled things. It's just what we did. Nowadays, shit. Just imagine if I got in a fight with someone on the street or something, somebody videoed it. Imagine how that would go down. I would come up and say, I don't give a fuck. That's what I would do, because I wouldn't care unless I lost. Then I'd be like, yeah, a little embarrassing that y'all posted that. But if I won, I'd be like, yep, that happened. That happened. I think I won that. I think I would say that I won the fight. But it's funny because when we used to box when we were kids, and it was older in college, more in college. It's about a pizza or something, and he came at me, and then we both swung. My brother was there, and he was like, "Man, y'all look like Mike Tyson and Van Holyfield fight. Y'all both hit each other in the same time, and I had a black eye here, and he had a black eye here. It was like, bam! We hit each other the same spot in the same moment, and had the same. His dad was like, "You boys," and that was it. We wouldn't fight now, though. It'd get too bad these days. There's no reason. I mean, if I was going to fight one of my friends, it would be a major problem. Like something major happened. Back then, it was over a pizza. You know, it's 19, 20 years old. Tiny house. Man, I'm so busy with different things. I'm building I haven't even talked about this yet, but I will the further I get along. I'm building a food truck, a huge food truck that has a pit in it where you actually barbecue in the truck, and that's the food you sell, barbecue. Because when you go to these trucks and you see, oh, they got barbecue, you don't see no smoke anywhere. It's like, where's the barbecue? Oh, it's in that warmer. No, mine's gonna be on the pit, smoking. The name of it, we got names that we're trying to figure out now, but one name is gonna be, what is it? Something smoking, because it's just gonna be smoking. Something smoking. Oh, that's a better fight though. We got many arguments over. He was making fun of me the other day because I don't know who's old enough to remember Mike Tyson Punch Out, the game Mike Tyson Punch Out, where the last person is Mike Tyson, and you got all the other people. I don't remember the characters, but he was like, and he couldn't beat this one guy. And I had you hit him in the stomach, boo, and you hit him in the head, do, 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 hit him in the stomach, boo, whatever they do. And he's like, you know how I beat you at that? I'm like, what did you? He's like, man, I told you I was going to school, and I sat there and I waited. I put a little gap, bald bull. Yep, I put a little gap in the blinds, and I waited because I knew you was gonna get on it because I would beat all the records. Or thing was beating the records, and he sat there and watched my combinations to bald bull until he knew it. That's a cheat. That's what that is. And I would have all the records. He said he had it. He didn't. I had the records. I don't know what he's talking about. Brandon don't have his RV no more. I don't know what he sold that thing a long time ago. I really enjoy Brandon's RV videos. Actually, I enjoyed motorcycle videos too. What happened to his channel? I think he got Tyson Punch Out Rocks. He got taken off YouTube. They took him down because Brandon would talk about guns a lot, and he would do his things. And I don't know. That's one of the things. Who knows? So they took him off. His channel's gone. So this one's blocked from Mr. America. Whatever you just put's blocked. So he says, "Hey Russell, you pro-life or pro-baby killing?" Well, I see why that's blocked, but I am. I've always said I don't talk politics on the channel, but I'll let you take one guess. This is what I've always said. I've always said I'm pro-choice because I believe that baby has a choice too. Because I was always confused growing up. Like, I didn't understand pro-life. What is that? I mean, I think it's why don't the baby have a choice? So it would be. I got them confused. Can't talk too much politics. They end up by blocking your channel nowadays. We need Elon Musk to buy YouTube. Yeah, man. Probst used to be legit, you know? He used to be hardcore when it come to what people said. He yelled at Brett saying happy birthday to somebody. That's a pretty good name, Hanson the Fire. But I think that because I'm gonna have, like I said, very seldom do you go to a festival and you see, let's say you want to get some rib. First of all, you hardly ever get ribs, and this is Texas. Most of the time, you go get brisket sandwiches or something like that. Maybe pulled pork barbecue sandwich or stuff like that. But you never get. I'm gonna have a couple ribs. That's what the name is. It's gonna have a cup with ribs in it. Cup of ribs. I'm gonna have ribs, a plate with rib, potato salad, jambalaya, and a piece of buttered garlic bread. And then I'm gonna have hamburgers on the grill, the actual pit that I'm gonna serve, and I'm gonna put cheese, bacon, and an egg on it. You don't have to have the egg if you don't want, and then the fixings, whatever comes with that, and that's gonna be the burger. So there's a lot of different things I'm thinking with that. I've been spending a lot of money on this thing, so one day I'm gonna go live and show you guys that. Might do it for the members. As a matter of fact, I will. Next member video, I'll talk about. We're probably going to talk about Drea and how all of a sudden she has a change of mind. We'll probably talk about that, and then I'll give y'all a walkthrough of the food truck, how it looks now, because I have a big old hole in it now because I'm putting a bigger door. They didn't have a door. When I acquired it, it was just little tiny door on the end. I just need more space, more room. So, guys, I've been here for 2 hours and 14 minutes. Rolling smoke. That's something. That's more than the way of the name. And my mom was like, "It has to be." This is why this name hit me, because she's like, "I'm like, what do you think we should name it?" Because I want them involved in it too. I want everybody excited about it, but it's mine. But anyway, I said, "What do you think we should name it?" And she's like, "Something smoking." And I'm like, "That's it, something smoking." But the way she spelled it was, she's like, something smoking, not something smoking. Like SOM, some, the apostrophe in something smoking. SOM, SOMKIN without the G. Something smoking. I'm like, that's pretty good, Mom. Smoking torch. That would be more in the Survivor realm of things. I think, see, I'm seeing on my phone faster than I'm seeing on here. I'm gonna answer this. I'm about to go, guys. About to be late. My back's starting to hurt me when I sit down for this damn long. I'm getting old. Look at that. Look how small my. Go back in my videos, guys. About a month ago, I'm full right here. You can tell I'm getting smaller. But anyway, I think Tony is by far one of the greatest to ever play the game. Yes, his and there he goes. His kind of implemented the things I did, but you can't, no matter, you can hate him all you want. If you hate him, he's just a good player. So guys, that's how we'll be back. Do you guys think that Keaton is a big change to the positive for the channel? Because I think that he is legit. You know, very calm demeanor, knows his stuff. You know, says how he wants to talk. I think it's good for me to work with Keaton, because I think we think alike a lot, but it's good because we can bounce off each other. So if you guys like him, just let me know. I think he's just a good for the channel in this regard. Me talking Survivor, I think it's good to have Keaton. So that's all, guys. Appreciate the 4 new members we got today. I'm gonna find out who I'm not down here. I'm gonna find out who's down here that's not members too, because some people are leaving. 2 people left, and I'm sure they're on that list. Gotta take them off. That's all, guys. See you tomorrow. I'm gonna do my players. I'm gonna try to do my players performance tomorrow immediately as soon as I get up, and I like to do them both in a row: players performance and my members video. Do that tomorrow, and then I'll show you guys the pit for the members. So, guys, if you see this later, you want to become a member, become a member. You can see that video tomorrow. Until next time, guys, that's all I got. Keep hope alive.